Good morning, students. Welcome to online classes presented by Mr. Ravi S. Kumar, lecturer in Department of Studies in Commerce, KLS, Gopte College of Commerce, Belgaum. So, dear students, today class we are going to discuss about the first profession, that is a chartered accountant. So, before going to discuss chartered accountant professions, so just we have to overview what we discussed in the previous class. So, in the previous class, we introduction of that is profession we also discussed, and after that profession introduction to accounting for professions, we discussed again the meaning of profession and professional, and also we completed accounting for professionals. So income and expenditure account and balance sheet, and what are the objectives of that is profession, and also we discuss the what are the books of account is to be maintained by the each professionalist. They have to be maintained these. There is no need to calculation these all. These are the books of accounts. They has to be maintained, and we know about again the form of fees account and methods of accounting. This is most important for 2 marks as well as your the accounting concept. And let us start with the today class the new topic, that is accounts of chartered accounts. See, I told you in the previous class, basically as per the Rani Chennamma University, we are going to study the 3 main professionalists. The first professional is chartered accountant, second one is what doctor, and third one is what a lawyer. Out of that, most important the first chartered accountant, and next is what a doctor, and next third important is what this also little bit that is a lawyer. So first I will complete all the theoretical aspects relating to the chartered accountant and doctor and a lawyer. Then we'll begin with the 5 marks problems and 15 marks problems. So let us start with the chartered accountant. By just I will give the introductory about the chartered accountant. These students, to become a chartered accountant, CA means chartered accountant, one must possess the qualification of a chartered accountant. To possess chartered accountant qualification, he or she should complete the training for prescribed number of years and pass the chartered accountant final examination conducted by Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. The further, he should enroll his name as a member of ICAI and obtain the certificate to practicing as a chartered accountant. Then he can use the prefix name of the chartered accountant as a CA. As you know regarding, so you know about it. I am not detailed talk about CA courses. I am going to talk about being a chartered accountant profession. What are the accounts we have to be maintained and what we have to be calculated. That I am going to teaching you. But how to enroll a CA, just you know about it, because to join for the CA courses, the CPT is there, and again IPCC is there, again final exam is there. So these are the different criteria in between that articleship is there. Is you people as you know regarding this all, but I am not teaching those all CPT, IPCC and final exam. I am going to teaching you CA is one of the professionalist act. So for being a professional, for that professional, what are the activities, what are the accounts we have to be maintained, that I am going to teaching you. But introductory part I told you, CA means what, to whom we have to get the certificate, and what is the examination, what is training, all those things. So the right now is the main important aspect, that is according to the calculation part. See, being a chartered accountant, the final accounts of chartered accountants we have to be maintained. So what are the final accounts? So when you talk about a company, the final accounts is what trading and P&L account and balance sheet. These are the accounts of the company. So but when you look into the what the chartered accountants final accounts are, one is income and expenditure account and balance sheet. And you people know about it, what is income and expenditure account and balance sheet. The based on the exam problems, I will give you again format also. But what are the final accounts of chartered accountants of India? Chartered accountants have to prepare the 2 final accounts. One is income and expenditure account and a balance sheet. Income and expenditure account is just like a P&L account, and a balance sheet, you know people. So but in that, while preparing the income and expenditure account and balance sheet, the following the important adjustment is most important, dear students, because most of the students will fail under what these adjustment only. Totally 6 adjustment is there. So those things I will explain one by one. The first adjustment is what? Expenses and incomes of household included in the profession incomes. So what to do that in such moment? If any expenses or if any income, household income and household expenses is included in the professional income. Professional means what right now, what a chartered accountant. So in the chartered accountant, if there is any the personal or household expenses income is included, what to do in such cases? the household income including the professional income or professional expenses, it should be properly apportioned. Apportioned means what? Divided or allocated to be calculated properly. Then how to calculate the whatever the private expenses, it's to be considered as a drawings, and private incomes are treated as a additional capital. Like that we have to be apportioned. So other than the professionalist, any income is there, any expense that is to be considered as a drawings, and again to be considered income is to be what? Additional capital. I think is to be clear about it. What if there is any expenses incomes of household, personal, if you have any personal expenses or personal incomes, that is to be recorded under the what? Receipts and payments account. That's why we are going to recording in that receipts and payments account, because we are going to representing whatever the expenses and whatever the incomes of household, we are going to recorded as a professionalist income and as a professionalist expense. Sorry, it is wrong now, because what we are going to doing, we are going to preparing the income and expenditure account and balance sheet for the chartered accountant related. But in that account, if you are going to writing the personal expenses and personal incomes in that account, it is opposed for the accounting aspects. So because of that, whatever the personal incomes and expenses to be apportioned properly. And second one, so what is that second one? That is outstanding or accrual fees. So what is outstanding? Till to be received. To be received, not at received. Till to be receivable, not received. To be receivable, those are called as a outstanding. You people know what is outstanding. If there is any outstanding fees, it should be added to the particular income and also shown on the asset side. If you have any outstanding income for the current year, that should be added for the concerned income, as also once again you have to represent under the asset side of the balance sheet. So there is a journal entry for that, outstanding account debit to fees account. So this is a journal entry. This is a journal. According to that, we are going to recording the outstanding incomes. Very simple. Outstanding incomes means what? If you have any outstanding incomes till to be receivable. Outstanding income meaning is what? Outstanding is nothing but till receivable. Still is not receivable. Those are what? Outstanding. Na? So those income is to be added for the concerned item, and once again they are going to representing what? Asset side. Because why I have to record asset side? It has to be receivable. Still not at received. Until unless received, it is your asset. So only you have to record under the asset side. That the journal is not important, but you should keep note that maybe they ask the 2 marks purpose. What is outstanding and pass the journal entry, then you have to pass it. So next is what most important, provision for outstanding fees. So dear students, as you know already, that is the provision. See, provision means what? The before we have to be ready. Provision, the precosted, forecastedly we are going to prepare that. Provision that is forecasted. Then for outstanding fees means what? So whatever the fees we have to be receivable, so on that we are going to make a certain provisions. So if we made any provisions on outstanding fees, how to do that? See, if the proper provisions has to be made equal to the amount of fees which is not received in that year, and it should be shown on the liability side. Very simple. So what will happen? We have to be received, for example, 1000 is what? Advance fees is there. I have to be received 1000 outstanding fees there. But on that 1000 advance fees, I am going to make a provision. It may be doubtful. I am going to make a provision. It may or may not I will be received in the future. So on that whatever I made provisions, that is goes to liability side, because outstanding is the income. But on that what I am going to make provisions. Provision means you are going to decide. You only decided. May or may not you may be received or may not received, but the point is what? You are going to make a provision. When you are made a provision on that such type of outstanding fees, that is to be doubtful, so those will go to what? Liability side. If it is only outstanding fees, that is of course asset. So just you look about second one. In second one what will happen? That is only outstanding. So if it is only outstanding fees for the current year, of course it should be added for the concerned item and it goes to again asset side. But what will happen? What we are doing in the third case, we are made a provisions on that. We decided that we made a provisions. We made a estimated on that. So when you made a estimated on that outstanding, that is a doubtful rate. So it is goes to what? Liability. It is our responsibility. We have to be managed in the business. R means what? Being a professionalist. For that, there is a journal entry, income and expenditure account debit to provision for outstanding fees. And fourth one, most important, provision against due from client. It means what? There is a due from clients. Clients आपको कुछ पेमेंट करना चाहिए, उसके ऊपर आप प्रोविजन कर रहे हैं. Only dues from client, okay, we will be accepted, but we have a certain provisions against on the clients, may or may not. In such cases we are going to make what? Provisions, that is provision against. Against means what? For this, जो भी क्लाइंट्स हमको पेमेंट करना चाहिए ना, उसके ऊपर हम क्या कर रहे हैं? प्रोविजंस कर रहे हैं. सो दैट इज नोन अबाउट व्हाट? प्रोविजन अगेंस्ट ड्यूज फ्रॉम द क्लाइंट. ड्यूज मींस व्हाट? द क्लाइंट्स नॉट yet paid fees. So when clients are not paid the fees, on that we are going to make expenses. For example, I am a chartered accountant, you all are what? My clients. So everybody you should have to pay 10,000 rupee my fees. But what will happen? Out of 500 students, the 200 students, they are going to pay my fees. There is no objection. And remaining 300 students, they are due. They are not yet paid my fees. So that is a due fees from the students. On that I am going to make provisions, that is provisions against dues from the client. So let us see what will be there. So when amount is due from the clients, a proper provision has to be made to the equal amounts of due and shown in the liability side of the balance sheet. If it is only due from the client, no objection, it is to goes to asset side. But whatever the due is there, no, on that I am going to make provisions. When I am going to make provisions on the clients, of course it is has to be considered as a liability, because I am expecting it may or may not. The whatever my clients, they may be pay in the future, they may not pay in the future. Because of that I am going to make certain provisions. That provisions will be considered as what? Liability. That is to be recorded under the what? Liability side. The provision word is most important. And next, the fifth one is what? Work in progress. As you know, you people, work in progress, how it is? The work is going on, that is known as the work in progress. See, work in progress is refers to the value of number of incomplete works which are yet to be executed. Which are yet to be executed. Yet to be means still we have to be continued or executed such type of work, that is known as work in progress, for which no bills are made. The proper valuation should be made for such incomplete work and duly adjusted in the books of accounts, and that is to be shown on the liability side. Very simple example I will tell you. So A has a give order to B, but when B is receive order from A, at the moment after receiving the order from A, the B's work is going on. But work is going on, but still A is not yet paid any amount. There is no bill made on that, because A is given order to B. As per the A instruction, B is received the order and B's work is going on. But the work completion, until unless work completion, B is not yet paid any amount. So in such cases, what will happen? The whatever the expenses, whatever the amount is spent on that, that is what the process is what incomplete. So that is to be recorded under what liability side of the balance sheet. So there is journal entry for that. Work in progress account debit to income and expenditure account credit. So this is a journal entry. And let us move to the sixth one, that is client's deposit account. So how we have to be consider the client's deposit account? Sometimes professionals have to incur some expenses on behalf of their clients. So what will happen? Just I take an example. I am chartered accountant. You all are my client. So what will happen? Sometimes the client is not present on such situation. On behalf of the client, the chartered accountant officer had made certain expenses. So those are what client deposited account expenses related. On behalf of their client, in the course of rendering the services, for this purpose, they generally collect from their clients as a deposit in advance. Because what will happen? You all are my clients. On behalf of you, and I have to make some expenses. So for that purpose, I am going to collect some of the amount from you people. So whatever I collected amount from you people on behalf of your work, that is to be considered what a client deposit fees. Deposit in the advance, as and when the expenses are incurred for the work of the clients, they are debited to the client's deposit account, and that should be shown on the liability side of the balance. Because before completion of the work, I received the amount from you people. That is advance now, because you all are my clients. From you people, I collected some of the amount, but before completion the work. So before completion of the work, if I received any amount, that is to be advance. You have to given to me. So for whatever you had given amount to my account, so on that amount I have to be worked out. So until unless completion of that work, that is responsibility to me. So whatever the responsibility of chartered accountant, that is to be recorded under the liability side of the balance sheet. So this is a scenario, this is a brief of the main sixth the important items. So you should be keep about these all sixth item because while preparing the income and expenditure account and balance sheet, these are appearing or occurring again and again. So most important. And if you have any questions regarding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you may raise, you have to put the comment on that. I will be justify once again. And we'll move to the next. The what are the books of accounts has to be maintained by the chartered accountant. See, after to become a chartered accountant certificate, he comes under the what of practicing. So once he start the practicing, as per the chartered accountant, as per the norms, chartered accountant, he has to requires to keep maintaining the certain books of accounts. So what are the books of account he has to be maintained? The cash books he has to be maintained. He means what a chartered account. He has to maintain journal book. He has to maintain petty cash book, and he has to maintain general ledger book and bills book, and also maintain receipts books. So by using these all receipts and payments books and these all whatever he has to maintain the books, by using these all books, so we are going to preparing what a income and expenditure account and balance sheet. We have to be prepare that. But be careful regarding 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 items are most important. Very simple. Once I will repeat. Personal expenses and personal income is to be considered as what? Drawings and capital. And whatever the outstanding for the outstanding fees, that is to be what added for the concern item, and again shows under the asset side. And whatever the outstanding fees, on that outstanding fees, if you made any provision, that is to be considered as what liability. And next, we have certain due from the client, but whatever the due from the clients, on that we made any provisions, that is to be again liability. And as you know, regarding again work in progress, the work is going on, but the client paid not yet amount. In such case, what will happen? The professionalist only carry the certain expenses, and the client not yet paid any single paisa. In such moment, what will happen? That is work in progress. That is to be recorded under what a liability side. And last but not least, the client deposit, because work is going on, but at the time what will happen, that professionalists have to incur some of the expenses on the behalf of the client. In such moment, the professionalists have to collect some amount from the clients for rendering the services. The whatever they are collected the amount before completion of the work, that is to be considered as what a client's deposited amount, and is to be considered what a advance paid by the clients. That is to be recorded as the what a liability side of the balance sheet. And in the next class, we have to discuss theoretical about doctors, and in tomorrow class I will complete doctors and lawyers. This because very small concept it is relating to the doctor and lawyers. Once I completed doctors and lawyer, we will move to the what a problematic aspect, the problems on chartered accountant. So if you have any doubts, you may ask the questions. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow.